Nicole with the Harness Racing Hub, and today is the first podcast with Russell Henderson. Hi, Russell. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thanks very much for having me, Nicole. Always great to see you, and congratulations on the new site. I'm looking at it as we're speaking right now. It's gonna be great, and there's nothing like having great media, positive media attention to the sport we all love. So, my name is Russell Henderson, and my association with the sport goes back my whole life. I'm 63 years old almost, and I started being around the sport when I was 6. So from St. John, New Brunswick, and been involved, have many friends and acquaintances in the sport. Met a lot more over the last couple of years because, as you know, Nicole, because you helped promote it, we were lucky enough to publish a book a couple of years back, Hoof Prints and Heartstrings, and that was well, it was beyond a thrill for me to add something to the sport that I love.
So let's talk a little bit about the Governor's Plate. And you must see a lot of differences in it today compared to the first time that you went back in the 1970s.
Yeah, it's different. It was funny because I took my brother and another friend of ours over for the trials on Sunday, and it was actually the 50th anniversary of the first time my brother and I and our father went to Summerside Raceway. And my father was great friends with the Whalen family, Walter and Jim and Basil, and we had a great time there. Now, mind you, the track was not quite as luxurious as it is now. The barn area and the grandstand and everything were they were that's the way it was back in 1975. But it's just amazing facility, and the grounds and the track itself and the barn area just exemplary, and had a great time. Now, back in 1975, the horses that we were wagering on and watching race were going about 2:15, and they were going a little bit faster last Sunday when we were there. So that's the first thing that one notices is how fast these horses go now, and it's if somebody was in a time machine, that would be that's what they just couldn't get over how fast these horses go now. It was 1978, and when I wrote this, I wanted to include that story in the book, and we did, but we had to edit it quite a bit for practical reasons because I actually the original text for that story, there was some satire because how did a 15-year-old boy get to Prince Edward Island to see this big race? So I sort of tied it into the movie Titanic. And I had fun writing it that way, but for practical reasons, Amber, who was my editor, just amazing. We decided we wouldn't get sidetracked on satire and just kind of stick with the general theme of the book, which was my connection with and my admiration of all the racehorses. So my first one was 78, and when I was over last Sunday for the trial, I didn't make it back for the final the other evening, but watched it, of course, like everybody on computer. In 1978, it was a lot of island horses, and I came over with the Ryan family, who had Scotch Garmin in the Governor's Plate, and a couple of Moncton horses and a Webby horse. So, there's the Webby still around with great horses. And they have one obviously in racing over there this week too, a couple of them, I think. But what was so interesting to me was the crowds were so big. And they went back all the way from the fence right to the grandstand. And as a young boy, I had to push my way to the front to watch the race. And I did touch on this in the book because I wrote I tried to set the mood of the horses parading, and how many fans they had, because back then you'd have fans from all the cities in Atlantic Canada, and because they all had horses represented it. There was people from Moncton to watch Sartoris, who was in it. There was people from Halifax with Maple Leaf Robbie. people from St. John, people from Fredericton, of course. But the race was actually marred by an accident just past the quarter pole. And then, of course, we witnessed a bad accident, a few days ago as well, Nicole. But mercifully, the horse, I think, is going to be all right. So, but this race was marred by an accident. And it appeared that John III, who was as much of an island horse as any horse in the history of Prince Edward Island racing is, was going to win the race I think he was 9 years old at the time, and it would have been his third governor's plate. And I distinctly remember how excited everybody was, even though there was an accident and a couple of horses were tangled up in the turn. The rest of the field got by them safely, and as they headed down the stretch, John III looked like he was going to win his third governor's plate, and he wound up getting nipped at the wire in a long photo. I remember how long the photo was, by Russell Burgoyne in Kitley Township. And it was a great stretch drive, great call. Everything was great until they announced bring Kitley Township back to the winner's circle. And then almost everybody in the place started booing because they were so loyal to John III. So, I'll always remember that the loyalty of the island fans, and anybody that obviously from that era would acknowledge that John III was just a hero to many island horses, just a great racehorse, to island people, I should say.
Well, thanks, Russell, for joining us today. We really enjoyed having you here, and we look forward to our next podcast. See you soon on the Harness Racing Hub.